Hey, good evening and blessings out there, everybody. It's your man, Rod Hickman, Generational Wealth Builders, where poverty ends with us. Listen, we're so happy to be on for the first time this new year. Super excited. Your boy is fresh out of jail. I even look like it. Just got out the Facebook pokey today about 2 o'clock. So that's why we got on actually a little later. But listen, we're super excited here to be talking with you today here from Generational Wealth Builders headquarters. And I'm super glad to have on this new year to start talking with my partner, she is my life partner. You know, she's the one that I love, the one that I adore. And I'm so glad that she's in my life. And so we have just had a whirlwind of stuff going on. You know, like again, we have just been boom, 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 you know. And so today or should I say a little while ago, we were traveling to go visit family. And we've just been having some conversations that have been phenomenal. I mean, they've been phenomenal. And when I tell you, I am so excited about what my wife is doing, how my wife is growing, and things of that nature. And my wife, is not the businessy type person. My wife is a support person. Like if we're having something, she gonna make sure you got food to eat, all this, that, and the other. You're comfortable. That's my wife's strong suit. I'm the business guy. I ain't gonna really make sure you're comfortable. I'm just being real with it, right? But either way, I'm so excited because what's happening now, as we've elevated in our business, as we've taken a leap of faith and stepped out into our business, and we now are brokers in the financial services industry. I'm super excited to see how my wife is starting to blossom and how she's starting to grow and things of that nature. And so we came up with this particular concept that we wanted to talk about business. Let's just talk about business. And so without any further ado, I want to introduce to y'all the love of my life, Lady Christy Hickman. Lady Savage, are you there?
Hello, Facebook
Yeah. And we got YouTube on here too. So
and YouTube and everyone else.
right, yeah. All right, so baby, won't you go ahead on in your own words, just kind of talk to people and kind of tell them about what it is that how you feel what we've been going through.
I think that just starting out, we know we started out in our bedroom, and even from that aspect, I would still support. I shared with the team on Thursday night about how, there were sacrifices that were made in order to get us to this point, but
Mhm.
how we started from the bottom. And I think that a lot of time because people have such short sightedness, they can't see the future, and that's something I'm glad I didn't, have. I didn't give up on that aspect of it because I could just remember in our bedroom how we had the desk and our bed or whatever, and I was sharing with them that like shoot, the desk is on the side of the bed that I sleep on. But then there were sacrifices that had to be made because we had a a house fit for four. So um, then when we crossed over and were able to get this place that we're in, I was excited, still in the supporting phase and watching things blossom and just wanted to make myself available, but not wanting to dive in head first.
Mhm.
That's just not who I am. And again, 9 months later, we expanded to the office across the hall, and now I'm like, okay, I have to be hands on because even just where we went to the leadership conference and we were listening, and I just had a moment where I was like, well, Lord, what am I gonna do when these things gets bigger than what little old Christy can handle? How are we gonna do this? Just all kind of things are going on in my head, like I can't fathom what God is gonna do in the midst of this business. But it's been a rough journey. I think that at times when we wanted to just say, forget it, we would always go back to why we're doing what we're doing, and
Mhm.
how it's always been about our children and making sure that they were always straight even if we were not here anymore. We wanted to make sure that we left something for them to say, my mom and my dad built this for us and we're going to carry the torch. So those are the things that kind of kept us going. Those are the things that kind of kept us just hanging on in there, I guess. When you see, even in the trainings where people, wouldn't show up, it be maybe one person, or just, they wouldn't check in and say, hey, we're not going to be there. Um, those were the things, the fact that we were doing this for our children and for our namesake, that, we still come, we still show up, we're still prepared, even if it's just for one person.
That,
So,
that's right. And that's phenomenal, right? And so, with that being said, that's all a part of business, right? Business has its flows. There are times when the business is up. There's time when the business is down. So you tend to try to prepare yourself, but sometimes it's kind of hard to prepare yourself for that, especially when you're pouring out, right? And especially when you're doing what we're doing, which is something that actually helps families. It helps them, really, really be able to put their family on the path to building generational wealth. So phenomenal. You talked about a few things and how, yeah, we just got back from Dallas and going to our very first and the last official
right.
in the kickoff there in Dallas, Texas. And that the energy, the stories, the testimonies was phenomenal. And again, I just remember as we were riding down the road, we were just talking and just having these conversations. And so as we created this whatever you want to call it, this session to talk business from a business standpoint. Now, again, I'm a grizzled business guy. But from your standpoint, stepping into entrepreneurship, tell me what it felt like getting able to go to something so exclusive as MD Kickoff. Tell me how it felt.
Actually, it was exciting. I felt it was very personal. Our CEO, just being in a setting of that nature, it was more like a one-on-one, like a father talking to his children, encouraging, rebuking, and then following up with the strategy and the how-tos and dropping nuggets. And I shared with you on the way to Houston that I'm listening to this man talk, and I'm connecting scripture with what he's saying.
That's right.
So for me, now I'm like, okay, I can roll with this, because I'm not a person that you can just hype up. I'm not a person that you can just excite and just say, oh yeah, Krista, we can do this. I have to see results.
Right.
I have to see the benefit in me doing what I'm doing, or the benefit of me selling out to something. So, again, like I said, he was talking, and I had like 4 pages of notes running back of just things that were being said and the wisdom that was being given to us. So, for me, it made me excited to run, I guess. Kind of gave me that extra encouragement, because here's the thing. It's like, again, you go through the motions of business,
Mhm.
just like, we do in ministry. You have that, we on the road, things are flowing, but then you also have where there's a decline in things. Membership might be off, people are not participating, people are not giving. And it's the exact same thing with business. And so, for me to have that, it even ignited some things in me as it pertains to ministry. I don't know if I told you or if I told somebody else, but I was like, I'm listening to this from a business perspective, but then I can also take these same principles and apply it to ministry, because it's still leadership.
That's right.
Being a business owner is still part of being, a leader.
Yeah.
And so there are some things where, I'm challenging myself as well as others so that we all can benefit from just being in that session. So
That's
I'm
right.
excited.
Yeah, well, that's wonderful. So as we're here, and first of all, thank you for my new office. Extremely grateful for that. I feel like somebody now. Um, but as we look at it from the standpoint of, um, I have a dream, right?
Hmm.
You and I have talked quite often about how a lot of people don't have dreams,
No.
and we're here on the front side of the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday.
Hmm.
And I'm interested to know um, your take on why people don't dream. Well, first of all, before I even say that, have you started to dream as a result of being in business? And if so, talk up to us about what some of your dreams are. And don't say no houses because we ain't buying them. But go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, my thing is, again, like I said, the tangible things really don't move me. We've always been hard workers. You've always provided a good life for us as a family. So that's not something that, is considered, something I'm chasing. But yes, I have, because I think that growing up and being a young African American lady in the environment that we had, people have always diminished the idea of dreaming. We were always, um, I would say, in a sense, like taught the mindset of somebody to be oppressed, or um always a victim of some sort. And I don't see myself as a victim. I don't see myself as somebody that's oppressed. I think, yeah, my ancestors was, but with that being said, because of what they went through, and because of, just like you said, we're on the crux of Dr. King's anniversary. I think that that should give us more vigor to go out there and be go getters and dreamers. Not to always be one to blame somebody or to lay down and take what you see, but to use it as an opportunity. So for me, yeah, I do have dreams, and um, me, I'm a person that's just like to help people, and I always want to go into the life of somebody else. So part of mine is really, I think you and I talked. There was a couple of goals that I have, and I'm pursuing that within the next 2 to 5 years, and then I would like to do something special for my mother. And again, I never make it about me when you say dreaming. I just want to see a lot of other people, doing well or being happy. So, if there's anything else that I really, really like to do, is just travel and be comfortable.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Spoken like a true spoiled woman, So,
well, whatever, dude.
but again, your dream is your dream.
Right.
Everybody's dream is not the same. Some people's dream consists of,
Money.
outlandish
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And again, that's okay because I like outlandish stuff too.
Hmm.
But again, your dream has to mean something to you.
Hmm.
And I find it, interesting that, as you said, some people don't know how to dream. And how do you lose the ability to dream? You lose that ability when you give up hope. And I've heard several different people say hope is nothing. Hope is this. Hope, hope won't do you any good. But I don't subscribe to that. I believe that when you lose hope, that's when you stop dreaming, because you basically say, where I am is where I'll always be. And
Right.
that's not necessarily the case. And so as we're going through what we're doing, what I love the most is that we're not just going along, we're taking others with us,
Right, right.
those that want to go. And I'm just, here we go again. You're sugar, I'm salt, to be nice. Um,
Vinegar.
yeah, that's probably more like who I am. But I can't help but think how many people don't want to go to a place of prosperity. I'm mystified, and I know that's probably like, wait a minute, that's not true. It is true, because as you were talking earlier, a lot of people take a victim stance. Oh man, my daddy wasn't in my life,
Right,
my
right.
mama, so and so and so and so. So because of that, I can't go forward. I'm living this life that I'm living, and I don't subscribe to that, right? And I referenced Dr. King's speech. He said, because I have a dream that one day, right? It was
Mhm.
always one day,
Right,
meaning at that point in time, it might not have been,
right.
but one day it was going to happen. One day, my babies will be able to be, judged by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. And
Right.
so I'm mystified that people have stopped dreaming. It's almost like, you know, as much as people say, oh, this is going on and that is going on, I can't help but wonder why people have resigned to just basically stay where they are. I'm really trying to understand that. And I know, like I say, we're right here on the cusp of Dr. King's celebration, that I have a dream, and some people gonna listen to it. Some people, even though they got a day off work, have still not heard the I have a dream message. They still don't have it. Or they've heard it, but they've never listened to it to
Mhm.
the point that it would inspire them for greatness. And so, what most of you all out there don't know about me is that I'm very much into history. I'm very much into leadership, and seeing how people like Dr. King, people like Malcolm X,
Mhm.
um, and other leaders throughout history, how their mindset was never really right here, but it was always on the greater.
Mhm.
And I'm proud to say that that's where generational wealth builders, and I believe that's why we're having the success that we have, because I don't care about your right now. Your right now is based on a series of events that you may or may not have had control over. However, that's where it goes to the message that where poverty ends with us. And that's why I always point here, because it's about what's here. Because here is connected to here. And as we educate people, again, in the financial arena, it's more than just that, because there are people who have money who are poor. There are people who
Mhm.
have money who are not fulfilled. There are people who have money who don't know how to dream. So I guess with all that being said, after my little diatribe there, um, how can we help people to want to dream again, in your opinion?
In my opinion, I think that first of all, we need to just take a hard look at our current situation, our current circumstance, and be honest with yourself. And are you really happy with where you are? Are you content with just being somebody that's working for someone else? Or, are you content being, or having the just the bare minimum, or living from check to check, or, looking like you're truly doing something for social media, but then behind the scenes you're really struggling? You have to like do some self assessments and just like really be honest with yourself. Like, even if you have to write it down, like when I was 18, I said I wanted to do this, but you haven't taken two steps towards what it is you said you wanted to do.
Mhm.
And I think that mindset is going to be the most important part of that. We have to have a a victorious mindset, a mindset of, I can do this. Yeah, I may have fell off the wagon. I'll tell you something. I think that people believe that, again, like I said, back when I was 18, I wanted to do X, Y, and Z. 20, I might have had a child, and that ended my dreams. That does not end your dreams. You just need to get up, dust yourself off, and be honest with yourself. Is it really something that you want to do? You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And I think we use those things, the idea of, well, I didn't graduate, or, well, I had a child. We use those as crutches and excuses
Mm-hmm.
as to why we don't continue to pursue our dreams. I mean, I had a child at 20, but I'm still pushing because I don't want her to see her mom as somebody that starts something and don't finish it. And
Right.
so that's why I'm doing something, to show her that, you can do it. Don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. Don't let, things that we may deem as mistakes or obstacles to keep us from pursuing our dreams. Again, like I said, when those obstacles come and challenges come, use them as opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Use them as opportunities to, make the best out of your situation. And I think that the mindset of the individual is what's causing us to not want to dream. um, we
Mm-hmm.
see what the social media says. We can see how rappers and artists portray a life that they're really not even living, or what is it, reality TV.
Yeah,
We try to, have that life in a sense, and about broke trying to do it. But, a lot of them not even living the life that they portray, you
that's right.
know. And here's the thing: if that's what you want, be a go getter and get it. But don't
Mm-hmm.
try to fake it till you make it, because you won't. It's gonna end you up in one or two things. You're gonna be stressed out, broke, busted, and disgusted. You know what I'm saying? Or you're gonna, really, what is it, think out or whatever, because you're trying so hard to be something that you're not. I guess that's the best way I can put it. But I think that when you realize, I was doing a training on Tuesday night, Tuesday night, and we were talking about the different type of mindsets.
Mm-hmm.
And um, when you look at the mindset of somebody that's an employee versus somebody that's an entrepreneur, two totally different things.
Right.
But the one thing that they had in common was, and it wasn't a part of the training, but the one thing that they had in common was that both are going to face challenges, both are going to go through things,
That's
both are
right.
going to have hardships financially, spiritually, naturally, relationship. They all going to have those things. But then the thing that separated them was that, one, I'm working for somebody and building another man or woman's dream.
Right.
Two, this is my baby, and I know what I got to do to take care of my baby. I think if we look at it from that lens or that viewpoint, that'll make you more determined to, go out there and make your dreams realities. I don't think any parent um, give birth to a child, or, any father, has a child that, he don't love and want to show him that he love him, or her. I gave the analogy of, you can't allow your emotions to keep you from, this day I just don't feel like it, Sally won't get her diaper changed today.
Mm-hmm.
One of two things gonna happen. Sally gonna walk out of that stinking diaper, or your house gonna be stinking. You're gonna have poo all over it.
That's
But
right.
I don't think, you would do that. And I think you need to look at that in the same way when it comes to your business. It's a product of you. It's your name is tied to it. Your legacy is tied to it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Again, the challenges are gonna come, but no one will neglect their own baby. So that's kind of the way I see this for
Right.
us, because again, it's generational wealth builders, whose name is tied to it, Rod and Christy Hickman, and it's not a fly by night. I think a lot of times we have dreams or aspirations to do things, but then we don't have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
And we have so much pride that shoot, we won't even go and let somebody mentor us and show us how to do it, or tell us, hey, I fail right here, and I just want to make sure you don't fail in that area. And so we'll try something, and then as soon as a hiccup happen, we just throw in the towel.
That's right. That's so true. So you said a lot there. Accountability comes to mind because
Right.
um, there's a point where you can say, I quit, right?
Right.
And I think even with the analogy that you have, no parent births a child into this world with the explicit intention of saying, you know what, yeah,
Not
I'm not
today.
gonna love you, right? Yeah,
Not
I'm not
today.
gonna love you. I'm gonna walk out on you.
Hmm.
I don't believe that. I believe that, doing every relationship, again, there's that option. There's that time where you start to get scared. I know you said when you got ready to have bug. I know me when the rod was on the way. My mind was racing at 1,000 miles per hour because I'm trying to figure out what do I have to do in order
Right.
to make sure that this boy has the best in life. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So I believe now I could be wrong, but I believe there's a point where you make it up in your mind that what you're going to do is you're going to be accountable
Hmm.
to the role of being a father, accountable to the role of being a mother. And then there's a point in your mind where you say, man, well, my daddy wasn't in my life, right?
Right.
My mama wasn't in my life.
Hmm.
They just gonna have to figure it out. I can't stand her. I can't stand him.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? All these things are moments and opportunities for you to choose to say, you know what, I'm going to be accountable. And that's one thing about this business. Again, signing a lease, we are accountable
Right.
for this building. The
Hmm.
stuff we have on the wall, the things that we've done, we are accountable to this business and to the agents and the families that support us. We are accountable to them. But accountability is a two-way street.
Right.
Accountability has to take place in order for there to be true relationship. If there can be no true accountability, then there can really be no relationship, right? And again, you can chop that
Mhm.
up any way you want, whether that's in a personal relationship, an intimate relationship. Again, my best friend, Roderick McConical. Again, I'm accountable to him, and he's accountable to me. And it's not like I'm lording over you. No. Accountability does not make you subservient, but what
Right.
it does do, it keeps you connected.
Hmm.
And I think in business, sometimes people are often times so, what's the word I'm looking for? They're trying to make it, and they're like, I'm gonna make it, and they feel like you can make it by yourself, baby. You ain't gonna make it by yourself.
And
You know, I'm gonna give them a shout out here. But Dr. Jason Cannon, that's my partner, that's my home,
you.
and we don't hang out much. We don't. But I know I can call him and say, hey, bro, look at here, blase, blase, this, that, and the third. I can call him and talk about some stuff. I can pop some stuff off of him. Why? Because we've developed this connection. As we've developed this connection, when he shares something with me that I can use, I'm accountable to him to do it. You get what I'm saying? And that's what a lot
Right.
of people don't want to do. You started saying it, about a plan. It's amazing to me how many people don't will go through the motion of trying to start a business but never having any mentorship from anybody that's in that business, right?
Right.
You know, we're in the life insurance industry, and so yeah, we know, but I see people that will get into the life insurance industry, but they won't get mentored into it. They'll just go get into it as if to compete against, me. And my motto is, bro, I'm not even competing against you. You know what I mean? You're not my competition. Uh, Matter of fact, my competition doesn't even have legs. If I could really be honest, because what I'm doing, I'm looking towards my dreams. I'm not focusing on anyone. And so I guess to kind of bring that to a point, and then we'll go ahead and get ready to wrap up here. Again, my dream, and this might sound mean, but it doesn't include other folk on the outside. If people want to go, then come on, let's go. But my dream of being financially independent, my dream of being able to do what I want when I want to, without
Right.
a second thought about how much it costs, is the definition of financial freedom to me. Now,
Right.
again, people say what they want to say, and that's okay because your opinion is yours. You should value it. Doesn't mean I have to. But in business, if you don't have a plan, if you don't have a goal, whether you call it a dream, a goal, or whatever the case may be, if you don't have that, then I guarantee you, you won't be successful in business because you don't know how to measure whether or not you're moving from
Right.
here to here.
Right.
Patrick said something one time about how you have to reward yourself in business. You do. You have to reward yourself. You can't just have your head down all the time, make money, make money, make. No, you've got to set a milestone to reach. And once you reach that, you say, okay, all right, we reached this goal. I've allocated this resource to be able to do this, that, and the other. So we're finna celebrate. Excuse me. Like we're right there on the cusp of getting our $50,000 watch, right? Once we get that watch, I don't know what we're gonna do, right? We may take a trip, right? Whatever, right? But whatever we do, we're gonna have that to celebrate our milestone because you want to enjoy the journey. And so I just think that it's time for people to start dreaming again. But you can't just dream when you want to. You have to dream consistently. What do you think about that?
And I think that's true. One of the gentlemen during the training, he made a statement, and I'm just going to add to it. He said, if you're still doing it, he said, whatever you were doing in 2022, you'll still be doing it in 2023. And just to connect the dots, if you don't have a plan, if you don't have something to measure yourself by, whatever you've done in 2023, if your mindset don't change,
Right.
you're going to be doing the same thing in 2023. And I may have said the years wrong, but you get what I'm saying.
Right.
And people make like New Year's resolutions, like, and here we are. What is this, week number 3? Some maybe like, I'm gonna lose weight or whatever, but then you don't have an accountability partner to help make you accountable to what it is you said you're gonna do.
That's
Same
right.
thing in business. I like the training that Patrick did. He gave us just a small formula of how, before you could even come up with a business plan, or if you're already in business and you're trying to figure out why it's not doing what it should do, measure yourself by what you did the prior year.
That's
Sit down and look at the good, the bad, and the ugly of the prior year. And then he turned around and was like, once you see where you fail or you may have done good, then turn around and make your plan for the current year.
That's right.
And you measure it the same way.
That's
Once
right.
you see that you're on the right track, or like you said, you may not be doing what you need to do, then you need to go back and figure out why, put systems in place. Again, that measure of accountability, even if you need a mentor, you need to get a mentor to help you, understand what it is you're doing wrong. Something else that he said about your personal development. What are you doing to educate yourself as a business owner to know how to properly run a business? A lot of
That's
people don't want to read. We want people to tell us stuff. And honestly, that's the biggest reason why we don't dream, because we're so consumed with people telling us how to live, how we're supposed to be, what we're supposed to look like, the mindset we're supposed to have. That's the biggest reason why people won't dream, because we're robots.
mm,
We're used to being told
mm.
how we're supposed to be, how to think. If
Okay.
you go any further, like just even during election time, people tell you how you should vote.
Right.
No, you're not even a free thinker.
Right.
So that's why people really can't dream. They
Right.
can't even think for themselves right now. And so, um, some of the things that he said, it made a whole lot of sense how in business, if your finances are not aligned, your family or your family unit is not aligned, if you don't have personal goals, if your health is not good, and it was something else that he said, but if those things are not aligned, then your business is not going to be aligned. And it all goes back to mindset. How are you measuring yourself? How are you holding yourself accountable? And just like the last thing, something he said that really stuck with me. You said something about how we reward ourselves. If I said I was going to do X, Y, Z and I didn't do it, then I need to go back and also reward myself, as in, okay, I didn't do this. I need to go back and, because I didn't do that, take that away from myself, just like we do our children.
That's right. That's
If,
right.
if we told them, if you read a book, I'm going to give you $5 or whatever, they don't read the book, guess what? Take something from them. I bet they'll work a little harder the next time. We need to do the same thing for ourselves.
That's true. Wow, babe. Super proud of you. So we're so fortunate to have with us um, one of our accountability coaches, right? One of our mentors in this business, those who have been there to help us push through and become the brokers that we are today. And so I want to introduce to everybody out there a person who's like family to us now. He and his lovely wife and their children, they're like family. And we're so blessed to have been able to go out there to Houston, Texas, out there in the woodlands, and see their beautiful office that they're getting up out there. Like I said, we're just so glad to have our senior vice president, Mr. Rene Reyes, on the call.
How you guys doing? How you guys doing?
Doing well.
I love it. Thank you guys for having me on. This is freaking awesome. I'm like, man, what's going on right here? This looks sick.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself in a minute, but I want to kind of give you the platform that we're talking about. So as we're on the cusp of the Dr. King holiday, everybody's like, I have a dream. And again, most people have never read that speech. Most people have never even heard it, right? And we're talking about how people today just don't dream.
Oh, wow. Yep.
How they've lost the desire to dream. And so I know your story, but I want you to share a little bit of your story here and talk to us a little bit about the dream. Go ahead.
Yep. So, look, where can I start? Me and my wife, we met at 13 years old. We come from a small town called Country, Texas. Went to high school here. And met this beautiful lady at 13 years old heading to cafeteria lunch, and I pretend, just so you guys know, through some friends, we went to a meeting, had our kid at 16 years old, never thought that was going to happen. Coming out of 16-year-old teen parent, that's not the plan for most people. You guys know, by the way, I don't recommend it. I told everybody, that's not the plan. That's not the normal plan. But 16 years old, and then I had to wake up to the real world. I was playing professional soccer for a little bit, but I said family or soccer, decided to go with the family part, and got into the real world, oil and gas, construction with my dad at first. My dad lost his company. That kind of forced me to say I'm going to go into the biggest next career, which here in Houston is oil and gas. That's all it is. That pays a lot of money. Went into oil and gas 8.5 years. And it was about the 7th year in business in oil and gas where I got laid off, right? Got laid off of oil and gas. We had just bought this beautiful home. My wife was telling me, don't buy the house yet. We're not ready. Maybe next year, maybe next time. Let's save a little bit, right? And, but like a good husband, of course, I didn't listen. I said, nah, we're ready. We got a good career. I got a great job. We finally, by the way, it was the first time I ever worked. I remember, Rod, when I first started working with this company, I always worked when I was in oil and gas at the beginning, small mom and pop companies, you know what I mean? And everybody hears the big names, And I said, man, I can't wait till one day I work for one of these big oil and gas companies, so you can say to your friends and all that stuff. And I remember when I got hired on, I kid you not, Rod, I sat in the parking lot an hour early just reading the name on the side of the building because I was so proud of being at this company, right? It's like, finally, and I don't got to travel anymore. I get to stay home. So anyways, I said, I got a good career, good benefits. I'm not going to get laid, let's buy the house, baby. We're ready. I'm going to move up in this company. I'm working, I'm working my butt off. I'm doing good, showing the manager. I want to be the up and comer. I want to take responsibility, move up a little bit. And anyways, bought the house. And 6 months later, after buying the house, I ended up getting the oil and gas. By the way, people celebrate when oil and gas is $1 a gallon, $2 a gallon. But us in oil and gas, we cry when that happens because we know. And I got laid off. Got the call, call into the office Monday morning, and my manager handed me a piece of paper, kind of like this, literally 30 seconds. How you doing? Hey, Renee, obviously you know why we can't keep you. You see what's going on with the market, but here's your severance package, man. I wish you the best of luck. Passed it over to me. Walked back out. Not even, hey, man, I can be a good reference call. If you ever need anything, let me know. Hey, you've been phenomenal. Nothing. That was it, Rod. Literally
right.
one second a part of the company. We're killing it, right? Next second, hey, security, by the way, is waiting outside the door waiting for you with a box. You can't say bye. So imagine me, Christy, Rod, we're co-workers. You guys are in different cubicles. And I'm like, I can't even say bye to you guys because they're afraid that if I talk to you, I'm going to take information. So y'all just kind of awkward looking at me. I'm looking at you and I'm picking up my stuff. It was the most embarrassing thing. I've never been let off. I don't wish it on anybody. Embarrassing thing. And I pack up my stuff. They didn't even walk me out the front door. They walked me out the back door. And I remember just sitting in my car 2 hours, just waiting to call my wife because she was pregnant with our third baby. And we had just bought this home. And all I thought about is, man, she told me not to buy this house. And anyways, 6 months after that, we ended up losing the home. And that's when I realized, Rod, it clicked for me. We lost the house, lost the truck, lost everything. My mother-in-law was living with us at the time. I had to kick my mother-in-law back out. Hey, mother-in-law, sorry, you got to get your own place again, and that's what kind of happened. And that's when I realized, no, I never want to go through this again. We went from a brand new home to a one-bedroom apartment, and I would never forget off of Rayford and Sawdust. And it was a one-bedroom apartment for all 5 of us. Never lived in an apartment myself, so that was the first time I ever lived in an apartment after that. And I said, never again will this happen to me. I need to learn about the money game. I need to learn about money, finances. I'm never going to ever make a mistake like this again. And then guess what? Ended up finding this industry, learn about money. The more I learned, the more I fell in love with it. And we're here today. How crazy is that, Rod? That's and right. Now we're doing what we're doing alongside you guys, that making a big difference out there in Tennessee, about to take over. But that's our story. Yeah, that's my background story.
Yeah. So and that's amazing. And I hope that everybody out there that heard that can hear the emotion, right? Every time you tell it, I go there with you. It's like I can see you, because I couldn't imagine, having to go and kind of be like, yo, we just bought this house, you know what I mean? And doing that. But again, one thing I love about you is that you're a dreamer. And anytime you talk from a place of dreaming. And I remember how you'd be like, one day. And I don't know if a lot of people know this, but even in the I Have a Dream speech, there's a one day in there. I have a dream that one day, my children. And so, Coach, talk to us a little bit about how you go from the fringe or from the ruins to being able to dream again. Talk to us about that.
Wow, man. You know what? What a great question, Rod.
I know.
Man, let me just tell you, by the way, it's a packed one because I was just having this conversation with my son. He said that was the most embarrassing loss you've ever had, because he's always wanting to learn. He's playing sports, so he's competitive himself. So his losses within the sports, right? And I said the biggest, most embarrassing loss was us losing the home, because everybody saw that on Facebook, all my friends and my coworkers, my family, that we moved from a brand new house, awesome truck, to truck getting repoed. You know what I mean? Like, to the car gone, to the house gone. Like, you're not posting that anymore. So I said that was embarrassing. Now, he asked the question, how did you recover from that? Right? He has the same thing, right? But I'll tell you, Rod, sometimes I think in life, for a lot of people, when things like that happen, what the biggest blessing for me was having somebody reminding me, because I wasn't really dreaming. I knew I wanted something. I knew I wasn't meant for that. I wasn't meant just to lose. And I wanted something different. I got hired onto a different company, and I wanted to move up in that company. I still had that winning spirit. Like, I'm gonna move up in this company either way. But I think what also helped, Rob, was having someone in my corner that believed in me a little bit, like being around people that started dreaming. Because when I got introduced to the main broker and owner of the Houston area, Mr. Rodolfo Vargas, I had a flame. I tell people all the time, man, sometimes we go through life having a little flame, and you just need somebody to light it up. When you add fire, you add a little bit of oxygen to a flame, and you know what I mean? That flame's gonna catch. So for me, I had a little flame that, I kid you not, one more loss in life, I think that flame would have been gone. Like, like a little candle flame, you know what I'm talking about? Like a little candle flame. That little flame, that's all I had, right? All I had in me. And then all of a sudden, I had somebody I sat down with, and they looked at me in the eyes. They said, Renee, I think you could be in a better place than you believe you can be. I just think you need someone in your corner to believe in you. I just think you need someone in your corner to challenge you. I just think you need someone to remind you who you are. The moment he said that, I was like, I got emotional, because I play professional soccer. I got to, have people cheering for me. I had people wanting to take pictures, to, all of a sudden work in construction, to saying one day I'm going to work in a company like that. Because I remember being in the scaffold with my dad, and I was working at a building, people going out in nice suits to dinners and lunches. And all I'm thinking about, wonder what they do. I hope one day I can get a job like that, to all of a sudden getting a job like that and getting laid off from a job like that. And then I'm like, so sometimes I think for me, what helped us, Rod, was having someone truly believe in us, pour belief that we didn't see in ourselves yet, that we didn't have. Like, I knew I had the little flame, but I just need someone to ignite it. I just need a little spark to ignite it against it, saying, you know what, maybe I can do this. You know what, maybe I can do something different. You know what, damn right, I'm not staying down. But I just needed someone to believe in me, give me a little spark, give me a little bit of hope and a little bit of direction to save me time and save me pain. Because that's the whole point of having somebody in your corner that's going to teach you. That's why boxers got a coach, right? Why? Because they get to see things from outside of the ring that the boxer's not seeing in the ring. Hey, move a little bit. Hey, hit the body. Hey, dodge a little bit. Hey, bro, he's hitting you on the left. Come on, man. Get his left. Put your left hand up. He's catching you. Sometimes you need that. Football coach, same thing, right? It's not just the coach on the sideline. He's got the coach where? At the top. Why? Hey, they're lining up this way. They're doing this. They're doing that. Telling the coach what's going on. Because you can't see everything when you're in the game. And I just had this conversation with somebody. And I was like, look, it's hard to read the label on a can. It's hard to read the label of a bottle or of a can when you're in the can. You can't read it. You need an outside perspective sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, you need someone outside of what you know and what you do to kind of tell you. You can't read it when you're in the can. I was in the can. And someone started reading my ingredients, saying, you're special. I think you could do something. I think you just need to be reminded. And they read me the ingredients, and I said, damn, I am made of something special. Damn, I never had anybody talk to me like that outside of my dad. You know what? Damn, I want to be around someone that pours. You really see that in me? I see that in you. And that fire, that little flame, Rod, that I had left, it just caught on. And my life changed forever. I just need someone to believe it a little bit more. Add a little fire, add a little wood. So that's how basically it came out. I just need someone. And sometimes in life, I think that's what we need. We just need someone to kind of remind us of who we are, what we can do, what we can achieve. And you just need to be around that fire. Right? You just need to buy somebody to, hey, blow a little oxygen on your fire. Some people have flames. Some people are not even flames. Some people nowadays, because the people that are around their environments, their city, their situation, they're not even fire. That charcoal, when you're grilling, that charcoal is about to go out, but you kind of see a little red. You're like trying to blow. That's some people, but they need somebody. They need somebody. So for me, Rod, that kept us dreaming, that came out of the slump. Sometimes God sends people your way. It could be in any form. It could be in a spouse. It could be in a kid. It could be in a message. It could be in anything. And sometimes we overlook it because it doesn't come in the package that, we were thinking it was going to come at. And sometimes people overlook it. Sometimes people overlook it. Like, nah, it's just Rod, the pastor, telling me this. Nah, it's just Christy. What is, like, no, Lord, it wasn't supposed to be Christy. It was supposed to be the mayor telling me this. I don't know. Some people expect that, a certain message for somebody, but sometimes God has subtle ways of saying, hey, man. And I believe, I'm a big believer in the man upstairs, that sometimes it's not even the person that giving you the message, but it's him giving you the message through that person. Right. So and that's kind of honestly, Rod, what helped me come out of the funk that keep me still dreaming.
Yeah, man. And so with that being said, and I'm gonna let you go after this, Coach. And but I know, matter of fact, I think we got another guest.
Hey, there we go. Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
But here's the thing, Coach, and I want to get your perspective on this. Yep. So I know that you and your wife, and you've been able to take your wife and your family to trips like Hawaii, taking them to Paris and Monaco and things of that nature. Again, all because, as you said, the fire got fanned and you caught on, and it got you to dream again. Yeah. Now, with the scripture let us know that all things work together for good. Yep. To them that love God and are called according to his purpose. That's what the scriptures say. Sometimes when you're in the thick of that thing, you don't be thinking about them scriptures, if we can be honest, right?
That's right.
But you have to keep your head down. You keep on keeping on. So tell us, how special was it for you to be able to take your family on these trips of a lifetime that, if I dare to say, only the top 3% of people get to do?
Man, it was emotional. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you the first one. We went to Hawaii. It was emotional because, I don't know, man. If you guys ever go to Hawaii, you got to go to Hawaii, especially like during like the evening time when the sun's starting to set in, because you start seeing like rainbows and stuff. Hawaii is just magical, right? When you see the mountains and the ocean and you see the sun and the waters, like it's clear. But let me tell you why it was emotional for me, because and I told you guys earlier that I lost the house. The one that remembers is my oldest son. He was 10 years old when I lost the house. And I remember there was a time, Rod, where we went to the gas station. I remember this vividly, like it was yesterday. And he asked me on the way to this house that we're about to lose, he asked me for a bag of chips. And I remember looking at my bank account, and I only had enough money to put gas in the tank. And I said, no, Daddy, I can't get you a bag of chips. You got to understand that I had this kid at 16 years old. He's my best friend. I can't do that. Mom's cooking. And it wasn't the fact that he was cooking. Mom was cooking. It was the fact that I couldn't afford an extra $1 to buy him a bag of chips, not including taxes. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna fix all that. I was brokenhearted. I lied to my friend. And then when we lost the house, he was the one that was asking me, Dad, why are we moving out of this place? Why are we moving out of my house? The first time I got a bedroom is the first time I got this. The first time I got a dog. I love this house. Why are we leaving? What do you say to a 10-year-old? That they understand you can't lie to a 10-year-old. What do you say to someone like that? What do you say to your best friend? What do you say to your kid when he's crying about leaving his brand new home? Like, what do you say as a dad, as a father? I was at the lowest point of my life. So when someone believed in me and they started pouring that fame, and I said, okay, I can dream again. I am going to make this happen. I just need someone in my corner. Give me direction, coach me. And I started putting put my head down, put in work, because most people don't understand. In order for you to have the things the vacations and all this stuff in the life, for a second, yes, for a period, you do got to sacrifice. Too many people don't want to give up things to make those things happen. They want those things without putting in the time, putting on the effort. But I understood that if I paid the price a little bit, it was going to happen. It was going to happen. But I had to sacrifice. I had to put in work and put my head down. And when we got to Hawaii, right, it didn't hit me. Number one, it hit me when my mom started getting emotional when she got laid, because she was, she was making this joke the entire time. I didn't understand it because I'd never been to Hawaii in my life, She's like, she's enduring. She's about this tall. And she said, man, son, I can't wait to get laid in Hawaii. And I was like, Mom, what? No, you don't got to tell me that. Like, I don't want to hear that. Like, what are you talking about? Like, why would you say that to your son? She's like, I can't wait to get laid. I'm like, Mom, you're an adult. You don't got to tell me what you do in Hawaii. Whatever you want to do, you can do. Do your thing. Yeah. Right? Like, but hey, like, if you want to go see a Hawaiian, I understand. So, whatever. But you're not telling me. And she's like, no, late. Well, I didn't understand, Rod. What late means is when they put the flowers on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, oh, I got it, Mom. I understand now, right? Late. She's like, okay, late. So anyways, we got to Hawaii, got to the hotel, and it didn't hit her, right? We're flying all these things. And then finally they put the flowers on her, and she starts crying. And she's like, son, do you remember all the times that, people were making fun of you? People told you about this. You were doing your first meetings at IHOP. People were telling you were crazy. Why are you guys doing insurance? You never run a business. You never done anything. And we're in Hawaii. She's an immigrant. The first time she ever traveled, right? Now, for us, it felt like out of the country, but it wasn't. I get it. It's part of the United States. But for us, it felt like we were traveling. It's 10 hours. We're like, we're out of the country, right? So for her, it was like she was out of the country. Guys, 55 years old is the first time she went to Hawaii. Are you kidding me? Little immigrant Honduran came to this country, working odd jobs, doing all these things. I remember having a conversation where my mom, my dad, at the beginning, you guys know Latinos, they tend to do a lot of couple things, they like the warm tea, the tequilas and stuff. But anyways, and I remember sitting with my mom one day late at night and finding her crying outside. And I said, Mom, one day I'm gonna take care of you. Mom, I promise you, one day I'm gonna take care of you. One day I'm gonna take care of you, Mom. And her getting emotional, 55 years old in Hawaii, crying because her son decided to take a business, open a business, not give a crap about anybody else is going to say, not care about what anybody else's opinion, not care about people rejecting them, not doing any of that, sticking in the fight, putting in the work, making sure things were going to happen for him and his family. And in Hawaii, she's crying. And I saw that, man. That was like, by the way, whatever you guys think that feeling feels like, I promise you it feels a thousand times better if you do that to your family, to your kids, to anybody. So that was one, Rod. That hit me, right? Like a man. I felt proud as a son, as a father, as a husband, that I was doing that. You know what I mean? That it's coming from her baby boy, not just her husband. It's her baby boy that was doing that. And the second one, when I was sitting at the beach, and I remember this vividly, in Hawaii, the rainbow was coming out. It was Indian time. Dalila was to my right. I was sitting there, and all I see is my baby son playing in the sand. I see my daughter, like laughing, jumping into the water. And I see my 16-year-old boy just at all looking at the mountains, looking at the rainbow, looking at the ocean. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, man, to give that kid an experience like that, when he saw us lose everything, 1-bedroom apartment, to see my kid be able to experience that, go to Hawaii, be on stage, do all these different things, bro. Like that meant the world to me, because the one thing, you guys, we can make money, we can make all this crap, we can buy all these things back, but the one thing you and I cannot get back is the time.
That's right.
And I felt like they stole my time away when I got laid off. I went through so much trouble. I went through so much pain that I was going through a rough time that I couldn't give them the best of me because they stole my freaking time. So the moment I was sitting in Hawaii, I thank God that I put my head down. I got to work because I was able to give my son the time back that someone stole from me. Give him the time back. And he was just sitting there enjoying it. And I was like, this is what I do. And then I see my other 2 kids saying, man, they're going to have one heck of a journey. And then we go to Paris and Monaco, do all these things. But by the way, that's the reason I live for. Not the money, not the things. Don't get me wrong. That's awesome. But it's the moments, because we're never going to get those things back, guys. When me and you pass away and we're sitting there in the last seconds, if God bless us with, having seconds of just thinking back at our lives, I guarantee you the last thing you're going to think about is, what's my balance? Okay. I'm not going to think that. What's my balance? I wonder if the bills got paid today. You know what you're going to be thinking about? All those plays, me and my wife in Hawaii. Me and my wife saying, baby, we did something great. My mom, she got to see me happy. My mom got to see me win. Thank God I fought for my mom. I was taking care of my sister. I hope she's proud of me. I saw her win. That's all we're going to think about. It's all the time, not the aspects of money and all these things. This is the time. All those other things are just things that drive you for a little bit, that can get you the time back. But that's honestly the feeling that I got, Rod. It was a feeling that I would never, ever, ever forget. And I hope every single one of you guys at least feels it one time, because the moment you feel it, I promise you're going to understand why some people are just so freaking obsessed and so freaking crazy about making their dreams come true. Not today. Not tomorrow, not next month, not next year, but today. And then you understand, damn, no wonder that got hustled. No wonder Kobe was the way he was. No wonder Mike MJ was the way he was. No wonder Dr. Luther King, even though he was tired, was still doing speeches. No wonder why even though they were threatening him, he still went out and gave a speech. No wonder these guys, that's why. Because they have a what? Dream. And when you have a dream, you ain't going to stop. And that's what happens. When you have a dream and you taste that dream, you just ain't going to stop. So that's honestly what I was feeling, Rod. A little bit long-winded, but that's the feeling.
Coach, hey, man, listen, that's phenomenal. That's what we're here for. We ain't got number time, right? I mean, we ain't got number time. But again, that's just so powerful. And thank you for that. And I know you're busy, things of that nature. You can hang out if you want, or whatever the case may be. But we got my other brother on here.
By the way, Rod, do you mind if I just say something?
Go ahead, Coach.
Having me on. And I want you guys to know, every single one of you guys watching, watch out for this with this couple right here. Just know that they also have a dream. And just know that they're going to tear some stuff up in Tennessee. I mean, in a good way. Okay, be a blessing to a lot of people in Tennessee. And if I'm you, and you kind of related to that story of a flame, trust me, these people are not going to just bring back your flame. They're going to bring back the fire in you. You just need someone in your corner, like I needed at points. And I promise there's nobody better than this couple right here. Because not only do they think that we give them fire, but they give me fire back. You have no idea how grateful I am for this couple, what they're doing and their story. And one day their entire world's going to know, it's going to know their story. That's right. But I want you guys to know, from the bottom of my heart, I'm grateful to be on here with you guys. And thank you guys for having me on.
Thank you so much, Coach. Hey, take care. God bless.
Thank you, guys.
All righty. All right. Man, was that not powerful? Was that not powerful? Yeah, man. So listen, again, we just got folk just coming through. Again, we're starting here. Today we just wanted to talk business. And now we have another brother that's in the industry with us, a good friend of mine. He and I will call. And by the time I look on our phone, it'll be an hour and some change or whatever that's gone by. And we've went around the world and come back and started on a journey again. But I'm so proud to introduce to the world again, Mr. Kyle Turner, the CEO of Sovereign Ventures LLC. Welcome to the podcast, my man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.
So,
yeah,
man, go ahead and give folks.
Waiting for one of these.
Yeah, man.
For another live, but
yeah. I just got out of Facebook jail.
Man, Renee did his thing, man.
Yeah, man. He always does, man. Yeah. I just got out of Facebook jail, so I couldn't do them for a month. So I was like, well, whatever, I guess they didn't want me to do it. So this kind of my coming out party, I'm out of jail. You know how I would when you get out of jail, first thing you want to do is barbecue, let everybody know. Yeah. So I'm out of Facebook jail. Well, listen, so again, we're talking about having a dream. And the premise that we got started with was how a lot of people can't dream anymore. A lot of people don't dream. And so what we're talking about is how can we help families dream? And I'm so glad to have entrepreneurs to come on that can talk about, from a personal perspective, because life sucks sometimes. Let's just be honest.
It does.
You get thrown some curveballs, some things that you can't handle. Rug gets pulled from up under you. But again, when you have a dream, right. And as we've been referencing Dr. King, so much, I could go into such great detail from what I've read and studied about Dr. King. But from your standpoint, you being in business, tell us about, why you dream or what allows you to dream. But first of all, introduce yourself to the folk, man.
How you doing? Yeah. So Kyle Turner, and like Mr. Hickman introduced me earlier, I own Sovereign Ventures LLC, which is a financial services company. So had it for about 4 years now, and now we're journeying into the insurance world now. So this is where I'm at, and I'm glad to be on with both Christy and Rod.
Yeah, man.
So.
Yeah. So, man, talk to us a little bit about dreaming. I know you got your hands in a bunch of different fires. I know you got some irons here, some irons there. But again, how does that relate to your dream?
My dream. You know, it's funny. My dream started years and years ago. I want to say, actually, when I was on my way out the military, so many years ago, when I was a young man. I think I made the decision back then. It's funny because I went into the military, and this kind of, kind of lays down the foundation of my dream. But um, I had my first child back when I was 19, and most kids when they come out of high school, they want to get a job, and they have all these aspirations, maybe going to college and things like that. And college was something I thought about, but it wasn't quite. It didn't quite do it for me. Even though I went to college and dibbled and dabbled, changed my major so many times, like every other kid.
Right.
But I knew that I wanted to work for myself. I didn't really know what that meant. I just knew that my dream was to be able to be free, and I still didn't know what that meant.
Mm.
So you kind of fumble your way through life, and you have this little fire in you that you're trying to figure out. You're trying to manage it. But long story short, I knew when I got out of high school that if I didn't go to college, I didn't want to work at any fast food. I didn't want to work. I think that was my pride. That was just, me wanting to prove to myself that I could, as a young man, survive in the world. So I decided to go to the military,
Mm-hmm.
And once again, reiterating, I knew once I got in, that's not where I wanted to be at all my life.
Yeah.
So it kind of reiterated that feeling, right?
Right.
And bringing up the dream of being, and I'll say financially free at this time, but as time goes on, a lot of things change. We alter our direction a little bit as we start to understand ourselves as we get older, coming from children to adults. But once I had my child, that was, that invoked, my path a little more. And I've always been an entrepreneur, believe it or not. I used to have a tax office. So every time I had a chance, I was spending money to try to push myself, excel, propel myself forward. And I said to myself, you know what? A lot of people, well, I looked at it like this: have nothing but time.
Right.
And I mean that in the sense of money, right? We can spend money, but we can always make it back. And that's what I did. I was like, you know what? 20 grand, whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and franchise. Forget it. I'm gonna just do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, I went through that journey for 3 years. And the sad thing about it is I decided that it really wasn't for me for a lot of different reasons. But here I, find myself here now. But I do it for, I'm not gonna lie, I do it for my children. I do it for my wife, and I also do it for myself. So, it's intertwined.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's it, right? Because again, I think it goes to the heart of the individual, right? And whatever the heart of the individual, whatever gives that heart joy, that's what you're gonna do. My wife and I were talking earlier. A dream is not always something for me. Like my wife said, one of her dreams is to be able to, do something great for her mom. Right? That's a dream for her. And we were talking a little earlier, about milestones. I've been there. That's part of the reason why I didn't stay in the military, because I'm like, hey man, I'm giving y'all too much time. Y'all ain't giving me enough money. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And again, this isn't a swipe at the military, nothing like that, because I appreciate the military. That's what helped develop my work ethic. But when you're an entrepreneur, what I found out is that there's something on the inside of you that won't allow you to settle with what's random. It won't allow you to settle with what's common. And one thing I know about you is that you read. You're very well read. You read, you study, you dissect, and that's one thing for an entrepreneur that you have to do if you want to be successful. You have to understand your market. You have to know all of that. But I think what happens is the successful entrepreneur, and this is for those of you out there who may say, I'm comfortable with my job, but I do want to do something on the side. You're the one I'm talking to. When you know what you want, let me help you. A job won't get you there.
Sure.
And when you find yourself like, I can't stand it, but this, that, and the other, every business does not require you to walk off your job.
It's true.
It does not. The business that is for you is what you enjoy doing, even if you don't get paid. And so the thing is, when you can find that type of business and it'll actually pay you, that's when you'll start to really be fulfilled. And to your point, you'll start working towards whatever it is. And like, I'm not really, people may think I am, not really a materialistic guy. Again, my wife will tell you, when she met me, I still had drawers from the 90s. You get what I'm saying? I'm not materialistic at all. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? I like nice stuff, but man, I still had some Hanes and some Fruit of the Loom. You know what I'm saying? So it's you have to have your dream. And as Renee was saying before he got on, one of our goals, and it's not even a dream, but it's to stand on stage before 15, 20,000 agents and tell my story. Tell the story about my son, Rod. That's my goal. You know what I mean? Because my dream is to be able to be so financially independent.
Sure.
That I can do what I want to do and it don't even matter. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, I get it. I was telling my wife yesterday, and actually a friend of mine, it's, I think what I want to achieve, what I kind of long for is the day that money is no longer an issue. Now, let me explain what that means. You know what I mean? Like, not that I have so much, because I can't necessarily put a value on it.
Right.
But striving in my day-to-day, goal and efforts, in a profession that I love.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Until I get to a point, or I have that feeling, or I know that I've accomplished enough where money, and you can interpret that however you want to interpret that.
That's right.
It doesn't necessarily mean, tangibly, like I said, you have a whole lot of money, but here, that money is no longer an issue. When we talk to clients, that is a discussion, right? Yeah. When we talk about retirement planning and things like that, and that's another type of, not having to worry about, money or funds, right? But my ultimate goal is to, be comfortable enough where I know that money is no longer an issue. So
yeah, man,
it's kind of like a blanket statement that you could try to interpret that.
No, man. No,
but it's mental.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. It's just mental for me, so.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. I that's what I know about you. I know that you're very cranial, and those things mean something to you. I was looking for the quote. And again, it's where they say Steve Jobs was talking about, how, kind of in the last days of his life, how he was saying how, you could do all that you can to make the money, but at the end of the day, you can't buy more time. You can't pay someone to carry the cancer for you. You know what I'm saying? Again, like I say, I don't know whether he said that or not. Some people are rumoring it. He never said
No, that supposedly that was a quote, Rod, in his last days.
Yeah.
That supposedly that was a quote. So I've heard that, somewhat before. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You can't have somebody carry the cancer for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's why, again, when you talk about a dream, and I think you hit it dead on the head, it's not about a dollar value, right?
Yeah.
It's about a place where you can actually just, as the Terry McMillan book said, you can actually exhale, right? You can just, life is good, right?
Yeah.
If I don't do anything else, it's all good. You
Yep.
know what I mean? And whatever that is, and so last thing I'll ask you, my man, we're gonna go ahead and bring this thing to a close, because I'm gonna let my wife have a final remark. But listen, man, when it comes to business, and I know you're one who has tried several different things. Help our listeners that are out there that are saying, you know what, how do I get started with my first one? What can I do to get started with my first one? Because I don't know what to do.
Can I be honest, Rod? There was a lesson. I'm just saying this. There was a huge lesson that I learned this week, and you and I didn't get a chance to talk. Quite extensively because me, we'll ramble on for a while.
For sure.
But it was something that I wanted to share with you, and I'm glad we're on the live now. There was a little practice that I did. Okay, and everybody here, listen. You have to be honest with yourself, and what I was challenged with, right? And this was hard, right? Find 10 fears.
That's right.
Jot down 10 fears. And it was hard for me to get to the 10th one.
Mm-hmm.
Let me be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized that as I was going through it, that I was actually exercising my fear as I was supposed to actually being honest with myself and expose my fears. So I was hindering myself once again.
Yeah,
I say this: you have to be honest with yourself.
That's right.
Feel as though that you are not exceeding, or you're not progressing, or you just can't get off the porch.
Yep.
Assess your fears and really be honest. And I would say the next thing to do is really be brave.
Yeah.
And challenge yourself. Like, just do it.
Yeah.
Like literally, just do it. No matter how uncomfortable it is, just do it. Whether you fall and fumble and trip and you think you look like an idiot, I'm telling you, everybody goes through it.
That's right.
But fear.
That's right.
That's it. Conquer it. Try to be honest with yourself. It's not going to happen overnight, but say, you're going to make an effort to recognize all those fears. And I'll tell everybody on the line tonight, jot down 10 fears, and then jot down 5 things that you can do to offset
those
10 fears.
That's right. That's powerful, because whether you don't even know this, but my wife said something similar, the same thing earlier.
Wow.
Talking about overcoming your fears, facing what it is that you don't want to face, and just doing it, right? That's rich. And I hope you all will take that, because again, Sovereign Venture LLC is doing some great things up there in the Delaware area. And here's the thing, sometimes we can hear stuff, but I pray that you will listen to this stuff, because this is the kind of stuff that's going to help you move from where you are to where you want to be. Again, we're still in the first few weeks of the month, and so everybody's still on, I'm finna change, and I'm finna do this, and I'm finna do that. But again, if you're only doing that to hear yourself talk, and like something my wife said earlier, and I'm gonna shut up so she can talk, but how often is it that we keep saying the same thing every year? Now I'm finna be real petty right here. Y'all know I couldn't go one whole episode without being petty. But, but the every Dallas Cowboy fan that I've met, every year they say, this is our year, right? Every year they say, this is our year. And most years, it's not their year. You get what I'm saying? And so if we look at it, what are they changing instead of just saying that this is our year? I mean, they say that before they even look at the roster. Oh, yeah, this is our year. My question is, all right, Jared, I see you, bro. Go Gators now. Don't get me started. You know I'm petty now. I got the mic. But again, they say this is our year, but what are you doing to solidify that? What are you doing to actually ensure and bring that year to fruition? So again, as I use that analogy, I really want to bring that home. How many times have you said, I'm gonna lose weight? How many times you said, I'm gonna make more money? How many times you said, I'm gonna start a business, or I'm gonna get out of poverty, I'm gonna pay off my, whatever it is you said? How many times have you said it? But then at the same time, you didn't turn around and do anything about it. How many times have you done that? And so again, you're talking about facing fears. I was just telling my wife before we even got on this call tonight, I believe wholeheartedly that a lot of people, listen to me now, are afraid to succeed.
Yeah.
Because succeeding takes you from a place of being familiar to a place of unfamiliar. When you succeed, success takes you out of that comfort zone, and it keeps you in a place where you got to be hungry, you got to be sharp, you got to be willing to do everything that's necessary in order to make sure that you continue to keep that success. So I believe, again, and I could be wrong. I really could be wrong. But at the same time, I really believe that some people are afraid of success. Now I'm gonna give my wife the last word, because we really got to get out of here, because we'll be here all night. Maybe go ahead on and give us your closing remarks.
Oh, I was just reading something. It says a head full of fears have no rooms for dreams.
Oh.
And so, to Kyle's point, we have to be willing to overcome those very things, the fear of failure, the fear of losing people. One thing about being on the journey on the way to the top is a lot of people is not going to go with you. A lot of people are not going to see your dream, because it's not their dream, it's your dream. Same thing about your baby. Everybody ain't going to take care of your baby. That's your baby. That's your seed, right? And so we have to have that same mindset when it comes to our dreams. Deuteronomy lets us know that the Lord gives us the power to get wealth, right? And so with that being said, we have to have a mindset of, do you want it or do you not?
That's right.
I think one of the things that we struggle is we give ourselves a pass. We give ourselves the excuses and the okay to not do what we should do in pursuing our dreams. But like we said in the training the other night, I always remember my why. My first why, Kyle, I think you touched on it, was like, and my husband as well, when I became a mother. Like, seriously, my biggest thing was, we'll never have to go back home and live on my mom. And so I was out on my own when I had my child, but my goal was, we ain't going home, stay on mama. And so I thank God we have not had to go home and stay on mama, but that's my why. And then when we became a family, they became my why, those children. The reason why I would deal with what I would deal with on jobs was because I wanted my children to have a life that I did not have.
Yep.
Now I have a business, or we have a business, same mindset. They are my why. Yes, I'm here even when it's only me and my husband. Yes, we're here even when it's only one person to train. Because again, the Bible lets us know too. Look, though that vision may not be like where you can see it right away, it's gonna come. It's gonna come to pass. And I think that if you just keep your eyes on the fact that it might be Terry, it might take a while, it might take another 10 to 15 years to get you to the point of where you want to be, or where you are financially free, where money is not an issue. But guess what? It's gonna come if you keep chipping away at it, right? So that's pretty much all I have.
Yeah.
Understand your why.
All right. All right. As we get ready to close out, Kyle, won't you tell everybody where they can find you at on social media? And tell them all what you do, especially about with your credit repair and how you help people get business credit. Come on, man.
Yeah. So a part of what I do is I do credit counseling. So that's a whole thing in itself. So we identify the things that you need to achieve, funding, right? So we find negatives and we assess every category of your credit, which most people are not aware of, that there's so many different factors. Just like Facebook has an algorithm, so does your FICO score. So does the credit industry. There is a algorithm, if you will, and there's 5 categories that they use to comprise your score. And then we really pinpoint all 5 of these categories and try to maximize each one, so you can, have a healthy score and achieve the things that you need to achieve, with a little bit of counseling as well. And on top of that, like my man Rod said, I also do insurance, life insurance, and annuities is another area that we work in. So if you you need to ask any questions, you can reach me at Instagram, Sovereign Ven. So Sovereign, SOVREN, Ven 00, and that's on Instagram. You see a nice handsome guy in a suit if you're wondering if you're on the right channel. And and for Facebook, you can just type in Sovereign Financials, or my name, Kyle Turner, and you'll find me. So
yeah. Well, thank you so much, man. I want to thank everybody that was out there commenting. Jared Wheeler, thank you so much, bro, for joining. You honor us on tonight. To the great Lady Clementine Perry, Sister Hustle Lady. We got to get together soon now. We got to get together soon. Thank you so much. Kyle, we got another hitter coming in down there in South Florida named Richard Hughes. He went with me to Houston when we went and talked with Patrick. But yeah, he's my cousin, man. On fire down there, finna tear up South Florida. You watch it. As always, we got Lady Glover on here, Lady Eleanor on here, always supporting, just wonderful. There's nobody like Lady Glover, my birthday twin, actually.
Yeah.
We got some more family down there in Mississippi. Lady Waddy Hickman, I want to thank you for viewing. So for all of you all that listen, for all that y'all that joined, that have liked, that have shared, we're so grateful. We hope you got some value out of this. Listen, never let anybody steal your dream. And listen, with the way the economy is going, let me just put this plug in. You need to make sure that your credit is where it is, right? While cash is king, you still want to make sure you have some credit. And my hope is that you won't get to the point where you have to live off your credit cards. But if you do, you want to make sure that you have them. So hit my man up, Kyle Turner, Sovereign Ventures. Oh, I got to give another rising star that's local here. I didn't know she was on, but she let me know she was on. So let me tell you about this lady here. She's a sniff away from becoming an actual associate here in Tennessee. Her name is Miss Jakina Dean over there in the grand old city of Ripley, Tennessee. Can't wait to see what she do over there.
Congratulations.
Man, listen, she's actually flying the big event with us, man.
Actually, awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. New in the business, wide-eyed, ready to go. She's going to do some great things. So we're super excited about her. Super proud of you, Jakina. Really, I am. From the bottom of my heart. My wife and I super proud of you. We laugh at you because you're funny, but we're super proud of you, man. You got to meet her, Kyle. When you do, man, you just go shake.
Yeah. I love the, I love the generational wealth builders family, man. So
Yeah, man.
I got to meet a few of your family members here. You know,
yeah, man.
we're down in Vegas.
Yeah, man. Well, we're gonna look to turn it out again, man. And next week we'll be in San Antonio.
Yep.
Going down there with what's his name? John Maxwell. So
John Maxwell.
Maxwell. And so we're super excited about that. So if you're on here, if you say, hey man, I like John Maxwell, I wouldn't mind going to John Maxwell. Going here to John Maxwell. Hit me up. We do still have some tickets available. We can get you those tickets where you can get out there and be a part of what it is that we're going to do. Our big events are awesome. You are going to get value. You're going to hear about people or hear from people who came from nothing, right? Sure. And are now, 6-7 figure earners, changing the trajectory of their family's financial future. So either way, that's all I have. It's been a joy. It's been an honor. Again, like I say, I'm out to Pokey now, so y'all probably gonna see a few people live. I'm out. I even and I'm gonna say this. And Kyle and I were laughing because I told him I am not getting an Instagram account. I refuse to get an Instagram account.
Right.
But then I got thrown in jail, and that was the only way I could send out some signals or whatnot. So I have in jail a little burner phone. Instagram was my burner phone. Well, listen, you all have a good night. May the Lord bless you. I pray, as this has been about dreaming, I pray you'll start dreaming again. Don't just wait for the lotto to start dreaming. Don't wait for them to start talking about Powerball before you start dreaming. Start dreaming again. Start putting together a plan. And again, book a free consultation with us. Come sit down with my wife and I. We will sit down and help you put together a strategy for you to be able to create your dream. I can't sell you a dream, but I can help you get there. All right. Listen, y'all have a good night. May the Lord bless you. And remember, generational wealth builders, where poverty ends with us. God bless and good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye.